Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Jerome Rubio here from the GenX Experiment. And today I want to talk about how I'm 58 years old. I avoid people now more often than not, and I want to tell you why. But first I have a question for you. Have you ever come to a point in your life where you just prefer to be alone, away from all the madness and chaos of social interactions? Well, at 58, I have found myself actively avoiding people, and I'm here to tell you why. I know one thing for sure. For most of us in the world, when we are young, we have a lot more energy, a lot more curiosity, and a lot more tolerance for all the BS of the world. This I know for sure. But as we age, all of that seems to change dramatically. For better or for worse, I'm not really sure. That's up to you to decide on a personal level. But one thing I know for sure that I always tell everybody, especially the youth, whatever makes you happy. Because isn't that the most important thing in life? Our own personal happiness? I know that as we age, we start to value our time and our energy more, and that social interactions can be very draining. This I know from personal experience, where I used to work for a company for many years called Blackhawk Entertainment. Now for Blackhawk, we had 12 venues and 500 plus bands that we promoted on a daily basis, which means that I was in a nightclub 7 nights a week, socializing with the people there to make sure they're having a good time, interacting with the sound people and the band to make sure that everything went right. And I also worked for the other half of this company called Night Moves Music and Entertainment, where they would send me off to concerts where I would have to interview the band. But before interviewing the band, going backstage and interviewing the band, I would also interact and socialize with the people at the concert, ask them why they're there, how they're enjoying the concert, then go back and interview the band, then come home and do a complete write-up to get that article in the magazine within the next couple of days. So I know about being social, about social interactions and how it can be very draining both physically and emotionally. But I have come to appreciate the peace and quiet that solitude brings these days. It allows me to reflect, to recharge, and focus on what truly matters to me. I also want to let you know that this is going to be part 1 of a series of videos I'm going to do about this, and all the different things that I have come to a conscious acceptance of why I do it and the reasons behind why I do it. And I'll be making a video about this, a few videos about this as well. But I also want to let you know that I'm writing a book about this, and I have an outline already set up to start my book. So when I finish this series, I'll be either selling my book or maybe giving away a few and then selling it afterwards. But with the book, you'll also get the outline that I have set up so that maybe one day you will be able to write your own book or make a video about it. And hopefully when you do get the book, if you get the book, maybe it'll help you come to a conscious acceptance of why you do it and the reasons why you do it, and that it's okay to be this way sometimes. So let's go ahead and get into the first part of this video, which is, it's always been the GenX way, hasn't it? Okay, so it's always been a GenX way, hasn't it? Gen Xers grew up in a time before the digital boom. We were sandwiched between the baby boomers who loved social interaction and the millennials who were all into the digital boom. But we grew up in a time where it was more casual, more relaxed, and Gen Xers most of the time tried to fly under the radar to avoid all the bullshit of politics and the chaos of the world. That was us trying to stay under the radar so we could have our inner peace, so we can have our own time alone or with a small group of friends. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been to backyard parties and I was in bands. I was a lead singer for a few bands. I was a lead guitar player for a few bands. But aside from those weekend things, after school, normally I would come home and it would be just me and a couple of my friends either watching a movie, or we would all have a VHS tape of the Headbangers Ball that we recorded on that Saturday morning before, or the Saturday morning before that, and we would be sitting there air guitaring in our room watching it with a couple of friends or alone, or just reading a book or writing down some stuff. Now myself, I was an artist, so I loved my alone time because I used to love to draw a lot of the Marvel characters and create my own characters as well, my own superheroes. So I spent a lot of time alone drawing. So I know that the Gen Xers embraced that solitude when we were young and growing up. We were also the latchkey kids, so when we came home, generally there was nobody at home. So we were by ourselves anyway. Now at that time, generally we weren't allowed to have friends over inside the house unless we let our parents know the day before or a few days before that that was going to happen. So we found ourselves home alone quite a bit, you know. So that's one of the reasons why Gen Xers are used to the solitude and the being alone and having the alone time. It was just the Gen X way. It was just one of our ways. And all of you Gen Xers can relate to this. Let's get into the next part of the video. It's all about avoiding the OPD, other people's drama. Hey everybody, so about OPD, other people's drama. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Gen Xers hate fucking drama. Sorry about the language, but we do not tolerate drama. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's draining, like a vampire sucking on your neck. It's just, you know, and in this fast-paced, interconnected world, drama seems to be lurking around every single corner, doesn't it? So whether it's at work or in our social circles, or even within our families, our own families, dealing with drama can take a toll on our mental and emotional well-being. That's why it's essential to recognize the signs of OPD, other people's drama, and take steps to distance ourselves from it. Avoiding drama doesn't mean burying our heads in the sand and pretending that conflicts and challenges don't exist, because they do. It's the way of the world, you know, Murphy's Law. Whatever's meant to go wrong will go wrong. And eventually you're going to get caught up in an OPD situation. It just happens. It's inevitable. But it's about consciously choosing not to get sucked into other people's negative energy and toxic behavior. You know, toxicity and what do they say? Sweaty. I mean, I play Call of Duty. You want to talk about sweats. You want to talk about salty people and sweats. Oh my God, Call of Duty is so freaking sweaty and so salty at times with all the hackers and the cheaters and the people who are accusing you of being a cheater because you killed them, and because they were cheating, they should have never been killed, blah, 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 blah. And just so much bullshit going on in the world that I think in our older years, in our senior years, we would prefer to avoid that. Everybody would prefer to avoid all of that bullshit. You know, you got your family. Okay, so one example, I'm going to tell you about OPD for sure. Other people's drama and the bullshit that exists, okay? I have a neighbor that, well, I have several neighbors, but I have a neighbor that, you know, if it isn't the fact that they hate my cats, they hate my tree. Because my tree, the big giant tree, produces beautiful purple flowers. They fall when winter comes, you know, or during the middle of summer. They fall down and he gets flowers all over his yard. And instead of saying, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, mow the lawn and pick it up, which you could do very easily, you know, you're gonna mow your lawn anyway, he wants to complain about it and call it basura or trash. Your tree is putting trash all over my yard. Okay? Not trash, it's flowers for one. Number two, you're gonna mow your lawn sometime this week. You know, once a week you should mow your lawn. So you're gonna get it picked up in one swoop anyway. And they're pretty purple flowers. So drama is everywhere. It's around every corner. And let me just tell you this. We have lived in this neighborhood for 48 years, almost 49 years now. I think they've been here for 15, maybe 20. So we were here first. And this is a Gen X mentality too. We were here first, so pretty much piss off. You know what I mean? We were here first. This is my neighborhood. This is our neighborhood. We were here first. So, but that's the whole thing. I don't want to get into that. So I find myself, instead of going out into my yard and so, you know, playing with my cats and having a cigarette and walking around my yard and stuff, I'll find myself sometimes just leaning up against the wall by the porch, avoiding the ability to be seen by certain neighbors. You know, not all my neighbors. Some of my neighbors are amazing, but just certain neighbors, you know. So avoiding OPD has become very important in my life. And for sure, it's something that's just inevitable. And that's one of the reasons why I do it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I do it more often than not, because I'm always trying to avoid that drama of the world that could happen at any second like that. And you never know when it's going to come. You don't have no warning signs. You just, well, but some people you don't know that it's going to come. But in an area, in an area where you're just out in general public, it could come in a second and you'll be caught up in that. So trying to avoid all of that, you know, and other people's drama is definitely one reason why I avoid people more often now than I did in the past. Because it's very draining, like I said, like a vampire sucking the blood out of you, sucking the life out of you, you know. And it can be very bad for your mental well-being. Let's get into the next part of the video, having quiet time to self-reflect, and my own personal guide for myself for personal growth and development. So having quiet time to self-reflect is very important for your own personal growth and development. In today's world that is moving at hyper speed with the technology advancing 20 times a year now, it's almost impossible for us to find that time for quiet time and personal self-reflection, because personal self-reflection helps us to reflect on our thoughts, to feel out our emotions, and to watch and reflect on our behaviors that we have in life. Having personal solitude for ourselves, our own personal time, helps us both mentally and physically, because it helps with your mental and physical well-being overall. Okay. The importance of self-reflection is unbound. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth and development. It allows you to gain a better understanding of yourself, your values, and your goals that you have in life. By reflecting on your experiences, you can identify patterns, make connections, and gain valuable insights that can help you make informed decisions and lead a more fulfilling life. Moreover, self-reflection promotes self-awareness and mindfulness. It enables you to tune into your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, leading to an increased emotional intelligence and a better self-regulation. Through self-reflection, you can enhance your problem-solving skills, cultivate empathy, and improve your relationships with others, whether it's family, whether it's friends. This I know for sure. You know, you ever had that incident that happened where you were just pissed off, and instead of getting into a physical bout or an extreme screaming squabble, you decided to walk away? You walked away. You said, you know what? I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to let you cool down. I'm going to cool down before we say things that we don't really mean and hurt each other without intention of hurting each other. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to go take a walk. And then when I come back, we can talk about this in a civil manner. And when you return, you're able to talk to that person in a much more calm, relaxed environment, and you actually come up with a resolution for that problem. That's what self-reflection and that's what solitude gives you. That's what having that personal time for yourself gives you. It allows you to go back and reflect on everything that just happened. It allows you to not just think about your own personal thoughts, your own personal feelings about it, but it allows you to actually listen to what they said in your own head and go, maybe they do have a point. And you find yourself, when you come back, being able to find what they call a happy compromise. That's why having this personal time is really important, and it helps you gain self-awareness and mindfulness. It helps you gain empathy, cultivate empathy, and improve your relationships with everybody around you. That's why having your alone time is very, very important. So let's go ahead and end this video on this good note about self-reflection and personal time. And let me give you my conclusion and final thoughts. Okay, so avoiding people can sometimes be a very good thing. You avoid, for personal reasons. You avoid that chaotic social interaction that can happen, like OPD, other people's drama. It also gives you a time for personal alone time that will help you become a better problem solver, help you cultivate that ever necessary empathy, and improve your relationships with others in the world. This is part one. And like I said, I'm writing a book about this as well, along with an outline that I've already created to create my book. At the end of this series, it would be about a 2 or 3 video series. At the end of this, I'm going to be either selling my book or giving away a few, then to go to sale. But with every single book that you get, you will also get an outline of everything I did to create my book and to create this video series. And hopefully, if you get the book, it will help you in understanding why you may be avoiding people. It may help you in having that mental acceptance of it being okay to do this at times. And also, it maybe help you to cultivate that empathy, to create those ever needed problem-solving skills, and, like I said, improve your relationships with others overall. Peace and Godspeed, everybody. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And I will be coming out with part 2 of this probably in about a week or so. I have to go through, and I'm writing my book right now. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to implement parts of my book into my video series. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. You guys take care of yourself. And remember that avoiding people is not necessarily a bad thing, but at some time in your life, it may be a necessity to help you feel better about yourself and to keep your own personal happiness alive inside of your heart. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.